Hello everybody, and welcome to the third installment of the Power of You live video series. I am coming to you from the great outdoors, and I'm very excited. Thank you for waiting a moment. I know I'm a couple of minutes behind schedule. Wanted to bring that great outdoors to you in a way that wouldn't lose signal, so I had to search for the right spot. And so without further ado, let's get started and get jumping into today's topic. So I gave a little bit of a hint again in the post from earlier, just pointing out that this is going to be something that will assist you with developing your intuition and starting out on the journey of getting to know yourself on deeper levels. So, hi there. We are going to talk today about the power of signs, symbols, and synchronicities. And while many are already familiar with this topic, I have my own sort of insights that I'd like to share regarding the ways that this can really influence the way that you see yourself and the world, and the way that you approach your life and the things that you're looking to create in it. So, I'm just going to put my water bottle down over here. Take a look here at my, again, wonderful notebook. The I Believe in Me notebook. Don't know if you caught this the other day, but I'm a big fan of the movie The Preacher's Wife, and while this wasn't designed for it, there is a wonderful song in that movie called I Believe in You and Me, and I really do believe in you and me. We can do amazing things. So, without, again, further ado, let's dive into this topic. So, I truly in my core believe that life itself, that we are a part of and an extension of and an embodiment of, has an intelligence that is always trying to show us something. And it may look like it is something that's a sign from outside of us, but really, its meaning is always going to come from within. So, for example, when you take the example of a dream, two people could have a dream about the same thing. Maybe you have a dream about strange clouds. And maybe you have a dream about a spinning arrow. Bonus points if you get the reference there. Now, two different people could look at that dream, at that topic, and they could see a completely different meaning. One person could see a spinning arrow, and they could see it stop, and they could see that that, to them, means that that's the direction that they're supposed to go in. Now, another person could see that, and if maybe they're experiencing more chaos in their life, or they already had a very strong sense of direction, they could see that as a shaking up, or, a complete change up in their life to come, whereas the other person could see it as an answer or confirming something they already knew about their destination. So everything in our lives, in this same way, is up for interpretation. And depending on what we've experienced in life and how we see ourselves and our relationship to it, that's going to determine what that meaning we receive from a symbol or a synchronicity is. Most of the time when people talk about synchronicities, they talk simply about pattern recognition or common number sequences, and they give these predetermined meanings to things, like maybe you see 1111 everywhere and it makes you think of angels and confirming that you're on the right path. But to every person, there is going to be something deeper, something more real. What is happening in your life at the moment that you're noticing that number? What were you thinking about the second that you saw and acknowledged that there's an important pattern occurring in your life? These are cues from our subconscious to notice things about ourselves that can really play a big part in how we approach the next steps in whatever it is that we were thinking about in that moment. So that is something that I think is incredibly powerful. And I've been a big promoter of the idea of looking at what the signs and symbols in your life mean to you in the same way that you would in interpreting your own dream. Because really, there's not too much of a difference between the real world and the dream world. They're both worlds, they're both places that we navigate, and while one of them is incredibly more tangible and consistent, they both show us so much about who we are, and they're both created from things that we'll never completely understand, but we play a significant role in the creation of the path that we move through them. So, one of the other things that I wanted to mention about these signs, these synchronicities, these symbols that show up in our lives, is that they really give you a chance to definitely, like I was saying, notice our patterns and how we feel about them, and just really bring up those subconscious things that have been maybe hidden from us because we didn't want to deal with something, or we weren't maybe feeling like we were strong enough at a certain time to handle a situation. When you start to notice something, it means that you're ready to take it on, at least a little bit more than you were the previous day. And you, in your moment of being aware of it, have the power to affect change. Everyone knows that right now is the only moment that we have any say in. We can't do anything about the past, and we're not in the future yet. So what we do today, as far as our plans and our actions go, that is how we create and shape the future. It's common sense, right? So when you look at a pattern in your life that it's being shown to you by the things that you happen to notice repeatedly, definitely take a moment to pause. Feel into it. What is it that you feel when you notice that particular sign or symbol or synchronicity that's showing a pattern in your life? Does it make you feel free, trapped, stuck? Where do you feel it in your body? Write it down. It is so potent to solidify something that is currently intangible, because then you can look at it, you can pick it up later, you can hold it in your hand and you can say, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I can work on, and this is something that I have the power to change. It's right there, and it can't just float back into your subconscious quite as easily as it could have if you just let it go. Not that it's a bad thing to let it go. That's really important too. But you want to make sure that you fully understand what it is, why it's there, and make sure that you're letting go of it fully, which is why you want to make it real to you first. So, the other thing that I wanted to touch on is actually the thing that inspired this video, and that is the fact that synchronicities and little moments where you're looking deep into the meaning of something in a moment, those are a catalyst for a natural sense of intuitive development and also pattern change. Sometimes we'll notice something, we'll have a sudden sense of what it means to us, and based on that, we will start to move in a slightly different direction. Even if we don't completely understand it, we have these very, very subtle instincts when it comes to navigating our reality, this mysterious place that we exist in and think we really understand. We really don't. We just know what helps us move through it. And so when you are having a moment where suddenly something grabs your attention, it's like on an energetic level, it's pulling you in a certain direction. It's calling you over and saying, notice me, notice what I mean to you, and notice if I am something that has a beneficial impact on the path that you're creating for yourself. And most of the time it does, because otherwise our subconscious, that knows so much more than we do, wouldn't be grabbing our minds with it in such a strong and consistent way, especially with those patterned synchronicities that we might see. So when I was just getting off of a phone call today, I walked into the next room, I looked out the window, and I saw these two little pieces of fluff, from a cottonwood tree or something, just floating through the air, and there was this little strand connecting them together. And I looked at that, and my instant thought and feeling was, why is it that at this very moment I would walk in here at the same time that that happens to be floating by? Does this mean something? Were we supposed to meet? And I believe that our lives are a combination of free will and fate, so to speak, that they dance together and influence each other in ways that we can't quite understand. And I thought to myself, isn't it interesting how this pulls my attention in and gives me this strong sense of questioning the meaning of this moment in my life? And I realized that that feeling, for me, was all that it took to inspire an entire video of thought stream regarding this topic and how much it can impact us in all of these different ways, just to simply take notice, regardless of what it is around us or what it is that means when we look at it. Because the meaning is half of the picture and the feeling is the other half. And usually, we'll notice one or the other, sometimes both. But what really matters is that we're aware of it and we're participating in our experience in a way that is suddenly, in that moment, quite a bit more profound and definitely more conscious and really focused on the whole of who we are and what we're doing. Why am I noticing that? Is that significant? What is it that it's telling me about how I see myself and the world? And what is changing in my thought patterns in this moment because I saw it? It's a really interesting thing. And of course, it also, as I was saying before, assists us in developing our intuition more strongly. Because the more that we make a habit of taking note of subtle thoughts and feelings, instincts, and things that grab our attention in an unusual way, the more that we fine-tune our inner compass that guides us in very subtle ways, and we can learn to develop whatever our unique intuitive gifts are. And we all have them to varying degrees. We've all got our own sort of specialties and ways that we navigate life through our instincts and those kinds of subtleties. So if you're interested, of course, in further developing your intuition, I do have a 3-month program that I am getting ready to launch, and I am very excited about that. It is called The Grounded Goddess, And it is an opportunity for you to work with me one-on-one to not only develop your intuition in a grounded and focused way, but also to combine that inner knowing with moving towards your goals in your life or your business so that you can create a life of your dreams that is both on the ground and touching the stars and bringing to life everything that you really care about the most. And so definitely send me a message if that's something that you're interested in. I'm actually offering 3 spots for free calls, so take advantage of that while it's still an available offer. And definitely be sure to tune in again tomorrow for the next topic of our Power of You live video series, live at 5 Eastern Standard Time. And thank you again so much for showing up today. You show up for yourself, you show up for the world, and that makes all of the difference. Thank you again. My name is Jennifer from Aquarian Goddess, and I hope that you have the most beautiful, beautiful, and inspired day.